Hey there, welcome back to Among Legends, the channel where we break down Hollywood's biggest controversies, untold stories, and behind-the-scenes drama you won't hear anywhere else. And today? Oh man, today we're diving into one of Disney's most talked about disasters in recent years. Yep, I'm talking about Snow White 2025. You thought Disney's live-action remakes were bulletproof? Think again, because The Mouse House just took a massive hit, and this time, even the die-hard fans are saying, enough. We've got a CEO in panic mode, a lead actress who's been completely pulled from press, merchandise gathering dust on shelves, and wait for it, Disney is already planning a reboot of a movie that hasn't even left theaters yet. Yeah, it's that bad. So grab your popcorn, settle in, because this isn't just a movie review, it's the full story of how a fairy tale turned into a corporate nightmare. Now let's rewind. When Disney first announced a live-action Snow White reboot, people were kinda split. Some were excited, classic story, modern tech, big budget, what's not to like? Others, not so much. And those people are probably feeling very vindicated right now. From the moment Rachel Zegler was cast, the project was under a microscope. On paper, she's got the chops she was in West Side Story. She can sing, she can act. But then came the interviews. And oh boy, the interviews. She called the original 1937 Snow White weird, said the prince was a stalker, and basically hinted that this new version was going to completely flip the script on the classic fairy tale. Feminist twist? Sure, but to many fans, it felt like Disney was outright dissing its own legacy. And here's where things went downhill fast. Rachel's comments weren't just hot takes, they went viral. And not in a good way. Clips were everywhere. Fans were outraged. Even some progressive critics said, okay, that was a bit much. Suddenly, the narrative shifted. This wasn't just a movie. It became a battleground tradition versus modernity. Fans versus studio, magic versus messaging. Disney, usually a PR juggernaut, fumbled hard. Instead of damage control, they went silent. Then they pulled Rachel from all future media appearances. Poof, gone from the spotlight. Which made fans ask, if she's the face of the film, why is she MIA? Fast forward to release week, all eyes on Snow White 2025. Would the controversy fuel curiosity or flop it completely? Well, turns out it flopped. Hard. Box office numbers were underwhelming at best. Reviews? Brutal. Audience ratings? Even worse. IMDb scores tanked. Critics, even the ones that usually defend Disney, said the movie lacked heart, charm, and coherence. Some called it a soulless reimagining. Others straight up called it unwatchable. And here's the real kicker. Disney's already announced a new Snow White reboot. Yeah, before the current one's even out of theaters. That's like serving a second dish, while people are still gagging on the first. But why? Why is Disney doubling down so fast? What's going on behind the scenes? Stick around, we're just getting started. So, we've talked about the PR nightmare. We've talked about Rachel Zegler's media implosion. But guess what? It doesn't stop there. Nope. The chaos has officially spilled into the shelves of retail stores. Yep, you heard that right. What used to be an easy cash grab, the Snow White merchandise is now rotting in clearance bins across the country. And here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. Disney isn't just facing a flop. They're facing a brand crisis, and their empire of plush dolls and princess gowns is crumbling faster than the box. Office numbers. According to insider reports, major retailers like Target, Walmart, even specialty Disney stores are slashing prices on Snow White merch like they're trying to get rid of cursed objects. Costumes? Discounted. Lunchboxes? Stacked and untouched. Collectible figurines? Collecting dust. And these aren't just rumors. This is the kind of inventory panic that hits hard when a brand misses the mark with its core audience. Families, parents, the actual buyers are walking into stores and saying, nah, we'll pass. Why? Because they don't want to spend money supporting a film their kids aren't even excited about. Because the lead actress openly mocked the original fairy tale. Because the movie barely resembles the classic they loved. Let's be real here. When you remake an iconic film like Snow White, you're not just playing with nostalgia, you're playing with legacy. And Disney, they fumbled hard. And because what Disney's planning next might just be the most desperate move they've ever made. A total reboot of a reboot. Yeah, we're going there. But before we get there, let's zoom in on the merchandise crisis a little more. Because this isn't just about toys. This is about trust. For decades, Disney princesses were a safe bet. Every little girl wanted to be Belle, Ariel, Cinderella, and yeah, Snow White. But now you've got parents actually avoiding this stuff. Moms are saying, I don't want my daughter wearing a costume tied to this disaster. Dads are skipping the branded birthday gifts. The backlash isn't just internet noise anymore. It's hitting the wallets. And that is the kind of thing Disney can't ignore. Retail insiders are already whispering about canceled licensing deals. Brands are quietly pulling out of upcoming collaborations. And worst of all, some retailers are straight up returning the inventory back to Disney. Do you know how rare that is? For stores to send unsold Disney merchandise back, that's the business equivalent of saying, this isn't even worth shelf space anymore. And that tells you everything. This isn't a minor hiccup. This is a full-scale marketing catastrophe. So now Disney has two problems. 1. A movie no one wants to watch. 2. A product line no one wants to buy. And guess what they're doing next? Okay, buckle up because we're about to go into full panic mode at Disney. I told you this was coming. The desperate move, the Hail Mary play. So, what do you do when your live-action Snow White is a certified disaster? When you've alienated your core audience, your merchandise isn't moving, and your lead actress is a PR nightmare? You do the unthinkable. You reboot your own reboot. Yeah, that's right. Disney has made the rarest of moves. They are scrapping their 2025 version of Snow White and fast-tracking another remake to fix the damage. It's not just a sequel, not just a few edits here and there. No, this is a full-blown, all-out reboot, one that's going to erase all the mistakes they made in the first version. And you know what? That tells you just how deep the hole is. Disney is facing a brand emergency like they've never seen before. But here's where it gets even juicier. This new Snow White is going to be faithful to the 1937 classic. Faithful, you say? Well, here's the catch. It sounds like Disney is desperately trying to recapture the magic they completely lost, rewriting the script to appeal to the fans they pissed off in the first place. You think they're giving us another version of Rachel Zegler? Nope. Disney's saying, thanks, but no thanks. This new Snow White will restore the iconic elements. The Seven Dwarfs, the songs, the True Love's Kiss, the entire Disney princess vibe, all of it. Now, I don't know about you, but something about all this screams desperation. If they'd just stuck with the classic magic from the get-go, would they even be in this mess? Instead, they swung for the fences with an edgy, modernized version that left fans scratching their heads. And now, they've got to go all in on nostalgia to win back an audience that's already turned their backs. The question is, can they really pull this off? Sure, they're promising a faithful retelling, but after all the damage, are we supposed to just forget everything that went wrong? But hold up, before we get into Disney's ultimate strategy to fix this disaster, I need you to drop a comment below and tell me what you think. Can Disney fix this mess? Or is Snow White done for good? I want to hear your thoughts, so don't be shy. I'm reading the comments, and I'll respond to some of the best ones in the next video. Now, let's talk about how Disney is trying to course correct. In what seems like a panicked move, they're bringing back veteran animators, the ones behind the Disney Renaissance films, the real artists who helped create the timeless princesses we grew up with. And you know what? I get it. This is a last-ditch effort to bring in the magic that made Disney great. They're pulling out all the stops, trying to fix the massive disconnect between what they delivered and what people wanted. But there's one massive flaw in this plan. They're essentially trying to redo everything, but now they're going to be fighting an uphill battle. Everyone knows that a reboot often feels like an admission of failure. Fans are skeptical, and many people simply won't buy it. And if you thought this was bad, Disney's stock is feeling the burn too. Analysts are already adjusting their predictions for the company's financial future, and let's just say it's not pretty. The lost revenue from this Snow White mess could cost Disney millions. But hey, don't worry, the magic is totally gonna return, right? What do you think of all this? Will Disney's last-ditch effort to reboot Snow White save them? Or is this the end of a legacy? I want to hear your opinions. Comment below right now. And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay on top of the latest entertainment news. You won't want to miss the next video, where we'll dive into even more of what Disney's really planning for their future films.